Someone's coming into the archivist's hiding place. I hear their feet on the stairs. Since I'm waiting in the main area with others, I shine my flashlight up like the rest. The figure stops, expecting us. Once I see who it is, a traitor, I pass down here before I drop my light. But many of the others don't. She's trapped there like a moth. A nearby archivist signals for me to bring my light back up, so I do. Blinking through the girl standing in the doorway is one caught in a glare. Samara Rook, the head archivist, says, "You should not be here." The girl laughs nervously. She wears a bulky pack, and she shifts it down a little. "Don't move," the head archivist says. "We'll escort you out." "I'm allowed to trade here," Samara says. "You're the one who showed me where the place is. You are no longer welcome," the head archivist says. She's somewhere in the shadow, and then she steps forward, pointing the beam of her flashlight right into the girl's eyes. This is the archivist's place. They decide who stays in the shadows and shades and who has to face the light. "Why?" Samara asks, voice flat, finally faltering a little. "You know why," the archivist says. "Do you want everyone else to know as well?" The girl licks her lips. "You should see what I found," she says. "I promise you're going to want to know." She reaches into her pack at her side. "Samara cheated," the archivist says, her voice every bit as powerful as Pilot's. It resonated around the room. None of the light wavered, and when I close my eyes, I can still see the bright spot on the girl's nervous, blinded expression. Someone gave an item to Samara to trade on their behalf. She brought it here. We assessed the value, accepted it, and gave an item in return, with a separate, smaller item for the trader fee. Then Samara kept both. There was a crooked trader in the world, plenty of them, but they don't usually dare to try and work with archivists. "You're not out anything," Samara says to the archivist. "You got your payment." Her attempt at defiance makes me ache with pity. What made her do this? Surely she knows she'd be caught. "If anyone should get to punish me, it's the person who I stole from." "No," said the head archivist says. "You undermined us when you steal." The three archivists drop their lights and move forward. My heart pounds. I step back a little further into the shadows. Though I come down here often, I'm not an archivist. At any time, my privilege, which are more than those afforded to most traders, can be revoked. I hear a click of scissors, and the head archivist steps back, holding Samara's red bracelet up in the air. Samara looks ashen and unharmed, and in the light still directed on her, I can see her sleeves pull up, with her bare wrists where the bracelet used to be. "People should know," the archivist says to the room at large, "that they can trust when they want to trade with us. What has happened here undermines everything. Now we have to pay the price of the trade." The others have dropped their light down, and now so her voice is the most recognizable part of her face in the shadows. "Paying the price for another is not something we'd like to do." Then her tone changes, and the incident is over, finished. "You may all go back to your trades." I don't move. Who's to say I won't do what Samara did? If something passed through my hands I needed for someone else, because I think that's what happened. I don't think Samara risked this for herself. I feel a hand on my elbow, and I turn to see who it is. It's the head archivist herself. "Come with me," she says. "There's something I need you to show you." She brings me through a row of shelves, through a long, dark hall. I grip firm on my arm. And now we're in another vast room, ripped with metal shelves, but these are all filled. They're lined with everything anyone could ever want. Every lost piece of the past, every fragment of the future. The archivists move among the shelves, while some stand guard. This room has other lights strung along the ceiling and glowing faintly. I catch a glimpse of the case and the boxes and containers of uneven sizes. You would need a map if you want to find your way through a place like this. I know where we are before she tells me, even though I've never been here before. The archives. It's a little like seeing the pilot for the first time. I've always known of its existence of the place, but to confront it face to face makes me want to sing and weep and run away. I'm not certain which. The archives are filled with treasures, the actress says, and know every one. Her hair shines golden in the light, as if she is one of the treasures she guards. Then she turns to look at me. Not many people have been here, she says. Then why me, I wonder. There are many stories that have passed through my hands, the actress says. I always like the one about a girl who has been tasked with turning straw into gold. An impossible piece of work, but she managed it more than once. That's what this job is like. The actress walks partway down the aisle and lifts a case from the shelf. She opens it, and inside I see rows and rows of paper-wrapped bars. She takes one of them out and holds it up. She holds it up. If I could, she says, I would stay here all day. This is where I began my work as an archivist. I sort the items and catalog them. She closed her eyes and breathes in deeply. I find myself doing the same. The scent came from the case. It's familiar, a memory, but I can't place it at first. My heart beats a bit more quickly, and I have a sudden rush of remembered anger, unexpected, out of the place, and then I know. It's chocolate, I say. Yes, she says. When was the last time you had any? My match banquet, I say. Of course, she says. She closes the case and reaches for another and opens it. I see glints of silver, and at first I think our boxes from the banquet, but instead are forks, knives, spoons. Another case, this one handed even more gently than the others. Inside is a piece of china, bone white and fragile as ice. Then we move to another aisle, and she shows me rings with red and green and blue white stones. Over again, another row, where she takes out books with pictures so rich and beautiful I have to hold my hands together so that I won't touch the pages. There is so much wealth in here, even if I wouldn't trade for silver or chocolate. I understand why someone else would. Before the society, the head archivist says, people used to use money. There were coins, some of them gold, and crisping papers. They traded it with each other, and it's represented different things. How did it work? I asked. Say I was hungry, the archivist says. I'd give someone 5 of the papers, and they'd give me some food. But then, what would they do with the papers? Use them to get something else, she says. Did they have things written on them? No, she says. Nothing like your poems. I shake my head. Why would anyone do that? Trading the way the archivists do seems so much more logical. They trusted each other, the archivist says, until they didn't anymore. She waits. I'm not sure what she expects me to say. What I'm showing you, the archivist says, are the things that most people find to be valuable. And we also have cases and cases full of very specific items for more eccentric trades. We have been doing this for a long time, she leads me back to where we came. The rows where the jewels were stored. She stops for a moment and takes down the case. She doesn't open it, but carries it with her as we walk. Everyone has a currency, she says. One of the most interesting ones is knowledge. When people want to know things, not process them, of course. What people want to know is a similarly varied and intricate business. She stops near the end of one of the shelves. What is it that you want to know, Cassia? I want to know if my family and Kai and Alexander are all right. What grandfather meant by the Red Garden Day. What memories I've lost. A pause in the delicate, deliberate room. Her flashlight glances off the shelf, sending slants and glints of light in a strange place. My face, when I can see it, looks thoughtful. Do you know what extremely valuable right now? She asked me. Those tubes the society had, the secret ones. Have you heard of them? The samples they take long before the final banquet. I heard of them. I say, I've seen them too. A row all rose and stored in a cave in the middle of the canyon. When we were there in the cave, the hunter broke some of the tubes, and Eli and I each stole one of the others. You're not the only one who has, the head archivist says. Some people will do anything they can to get their hands on those samples. The tubes don't matter, I say. They're not real people. I'm quoting Kai. I hold the archivist. Can't hear the lie in my voice because I stole Grandfather's tube from the carving and gave it to Kai to hide. And I did that because I can't seem to let go of the idea that those tubes could matter. That may be, the archivist says, but others don't agree with you. They want to know their own samples, and the ones that belong to their family and friends. If they lose a loved one in the plague, they want the tubes even more. If they lose a loved one in the plague, is that possible, I wonder? But the minute I speak, I know it is. Death is always possible. I learned that in the carving. Almost as if she's reading my mind, the archivist asks, have you seen the tube? You've seen the tubes, haven't you? When you were outside the society. For some reason, I want to laugh. The cavern you are asking about, yes. I've seen that. With rows and rows of tubes stored neatly into the earth. I've also seen a cave full of papers and golden apples and dark trees twisted from growing in a place where the great winds and little rain. And my name carved into a tree and paintings on stone. And in the carving I've seen burned bodies under the sky, and a man singing his daughter to her grave, making her arms with his blue. I have felt life in this place, and I have seen death. Did you bring back any of those tubes to trade? Did you? She asks. How much does she know? No, I say. That's too bad, she says. What would people trade for the tubes? I ask. Everyone has something, the archivist says. Of course, we don't guarantee anything except the simple belongs to the right person. We don't promise that there's any way to bring anyone back. But it implies, I say. It would only require a few tubes to take you anywhere you want to go, the archivist says, like Kenya Providence. She waits to see if I rise to the bait. She knows where my family is, or home to Oria. What about, I ask. I'm thinking canvas, someplace else entirely. We both look at each other, waiting. To my surprise, she speaks first. And then it is then that I know how badly she wants those samples. If you are asking a passage to the other lands, she says, very softly, that is no longer possible. I've never heard of the other lands, only the other countries. Marking on a map back in Oria places synonymous with enemy territory. From the way the archivist speaks the other lands, though, I could tell she means someplace entirely different and distant. A little thrill goes through me. Even Kai, who lived in the Outer Providence, has never mentioned the other lands. Where are they? For a moment I'm tempted to tell the archivist yes, to try and find out more about the places so remote they appear on no map I've ever seen, even the ones belonging to the villagers who once lived in the carving. No, I say. I don't have any tubes. For a moment we're both silent. Then the archivist speaks. I've noticed that lately your focus has shifted away from trading, she says. I've seen the gallery. It's quite an accomplishment. Yes, I say. Everyone has something worth sharing. The archivist looks at me with pity and astonishment in her eyes. No, she says. Everything done in the gallery has been done before, and better. But it's still a remarkable achievement in its own way. She's not the pilot. I know it now. She reminded me of my official back in Oria. They both have in common their conviction and the way they are still learning, still growing, when in fact they have long ago lost the ability. It's a relief to leave the archives and go to the gallery, which is alive above the ground. As I draw closer to the gallery, I hear something singing. I don't know the song. It's not one of the 100. I can't really understand the words. I'm too far away to hear but I hear the melody. A woman's voice rises and falls, aches and heals, and then the chorus of men join in. I wonder if she knows he was going to sing too, if it was something they planned, or if she was surprised to suddenly find that she was not alone in her song. When they stop, at first there's silence, and then a cheer from someone up front, and soon we all join in. Press closer through the crowd, trying to see the faces of those who are the music. Another, the woman asks, and we cry out our answer, yes. This time she sings something else, something short and clear, and the tune is full of movement but easy to follow. I am a stone, I am rolling up the highest hill. You, my love, are calling through the winter chills. We must keep on going, now and then and still. Could this song be one from the Outer Province? It reminds me of the story of Cyprus, and Kai said they kept the songs longer in the Outer Province. But all those people are gone now. It makes it seem like the words should be sad, but the music behind it doesn't sound that way. I catch myself humming along, and before I know it, I'm singing. So are the people around me. Over and over we go through the song until we have the words and melody right. At first I'm embarrassed, and when I catch myself moving, and then I don't care anymore, I don't mind. We all wish that Kai was here, that he could see me now, singing too, and dancing in front of the world. Or Xander, I wish he were here. Kai already knows how to sing. Does Xander? Our feet thump on the ground, and we can no longer smell even a trace of the fish's bodies that once bounced up against the shore, because they decayed now, gone to bone, the smell of them lost in the scent of our living, our flesh, our salt, and our tears, our sweat, the sharpness of green grass, and the plants trembled underfoot. We're breathing the same air, singing the same song.